Well, that was embarrassing. My week 1 picks were almost as bad as the Rams' offensive line. Every year I forget how much of an emotional roller coaster the NFL Sundays can be. There were 6 games that were decided by 2 points or less that could have gone either way, so I'm not too disappointed with my picks considering, but nonetheless, going 5-11 in the opening week of the season has clearly earned me crying Jordan status. Let's take a look at the Man vs. Madden week 1 results. As you can see, Madden was able to beat me by 4 games in week 1. If this rate keeps up, I don't know how long I'll be able to do these videos because clearly there won't be a competition, so I'm going to try and redeem myself this week. But you guys let me know, how long do you think I should keep going? What kind of record do you think I should go to until I decide that Madden is just clearly better at predicting games than Man is? In order to make this video a little shorter for you guys, I'm going to go ahead and present these a little differently than I did last week. I'm going to go ahead and do Man and Madden picks for each game at the same time so that they're not broken up, and hopefully that'll flow a little easier. So the score breakdown will be Madden's prediction, and I'll throw up the NFLRT shield on my prediction. The only thing that looked worse than the Bills in week 1 was Darrelle Revis. Andy Dalton and AJ Green picked on Revis Island all day, and Dalton had a perfect passer rating when throwing towards Green when he was covered by Revis. Last time we saw Revis, he was getting burned in similar fashion by Sammy Watkins. Father Time is undefeated, and Revis has clearly lost his step. The Jets haven't won in Buffalo since 2011, and Rex took it to his old team twice last year. I'm picking the Bills. The 49ers did look good against the Rams, but the Panthers are one of the elite teams in the NFL. 49ers defense might be able to keep the score of this game down, but I'm still going with the Panthers. The Redskins didn't provide us with the key matchup that everyone was looking forward to in week 1 by keeping Josh Norman from covering Antonio Brown. Hopefully this week they allow him to move around more to be able to shadow Dez Bryant because things got heated between these two on Thanksgiving last year. The Giants defensive line won the matchup against the Cowboys' highly regarded offensive line, but I expect them to step it up this week and be more effective in the running game against the Redskins. I'm picking the Cowboys. An early claim to the AFC North makes this one of the bigger games of the week. The Bengals looked good in week 1, but the Steelers looked even better. Antonio Brown is going to be hard to stop this season, and hopefully the Bengals have a better game plan than the Redskins did, but just to be safe, I'm picking the Steelers. Remember the last time these two teams matched up? Eli Manning and Drew Brees threw for a combined 13 touchdowns. Hopefully they can replicate that exciting game this week. Drew Brees can obviously still sling it around, and the Saints lost a nail-biter in the Metrodome last week when the Raiders head coach made the ballsiest call of the weekend to go for 2 and win the game. I liked the Saints last week because Drew Brees is still effective in the Metrodome, but Brees outdoors isn't nearly as effective. I'm picking the Giants. The Dolphins lost a heartbreaker in Seattle, but that should be a confidence builder for them. They have the talent, they just fell short of executing. Jimmy Garoppolo played a lot better than I expected against the Cardinals, and if you saw my full season predictions, I think pretty highly of their defense. In those predictions, I picked the Dolphins, but I was really impressed with how the Patriots beat the Cardinals without Brady, Gronk, or Nate Solder. I can't pick against the Patriots. I don't think the Chiefs realized the preseason was over until the 4th quarter against the Chargers. The way Phillip Rivers picked apart their defense makes me think that I've overrated the Chiefs' defense going into the season, but they could just be missing Justin Houston. The Texans looked really good against the Bears, and their offense has potential to be one of the league's best. But let's pause before anointing them AFC South champions because the Bears are just not very good. Regardless, I'm on the Texans bandwagon at least for another week. I'm picking the Texans. The Titans looked really bad in week 1, and now keep in mind the Vikings defense is a top 5 unit in my opinion, but there's no reason to lose your home opener against a Sean Hill quarterback's offense, especially when you shut down Adrian Peterson like that. Matthew Stafford didn't look like he missed Megatron one bit against the Colts' depleted secondary. In fact, he looked like a leader. We could see a bounce back game from the Titans here, but I'm picking the Lions. In week 1, the Ravens looked better than I expected, and the Browns looked the way I should have expected. RG3 is already on the IR with an injury to his non-throwing shoulder, but the Browns' offense was not that impressive against the Eagles anyways. I'm picking the Ravens. The Rams are 3-1 against the Seahawks in the past 2 seasons, and Russell Wilson is coming off of a pretty bad sprained ankle. This game has upset special written all over it, but I'm not confident enough in the Rams' offensive line to get the job done this year. I'm picking the Seahawks. I expected a big season from Jameis Winston, but thought it would take a few weeks for him to get in the groove. He actually picked apart the Falcons secondary like a seasoned vet. The Cardinals underestimated the Patriots last week, and I look for a bounce back game from them, and the secondary is better than the Falcons, so I'm picking the Cardinals. Last week I picked against both the Jaguars and the Cardinals, but I expected them both to play well. The loss of Keenan Allen coincided with the Chargers' collapse, however, and I think that their offense continues to slip without enough threats in the passing game. I'm picking the Jaguars. The Falcons secondary was picked apart by Jameis Winston and the Bucs last week, and the Raiders are coming off a big win in New Orleans where Derek Carr had his way with the Saints secondary. I expect those trends to continue in another high-scoring game. I'm picking the Raiders. The Colts secondary is in bad shape, and their offense isn't going to be able to put up points at will like it did against the Lions defense. I'm picking the Broncos. Adrian Peterson hasn't rushed for over 100 yards in a season opener since 2009, so don't panic and think he's fallen off completely. Sam Bradford is probably going to get the start at quarterback this week, and the Vikings are going to need a big game from him to open things up for AP to get going. But apparently Aaron Rodgers is throwing touchdowns this year while getting sacked, so I'm picking the Packers. Even though it was against the Browns, Carson Wentz looked really good in week 1. Luckily for him, the Bears defense is almost just as bad. I'm picking the Eagles. Alright guys, that's it for my picks for week 2. Let me know what your picks are in the comments below and what you think of these picks, and I will see you on the other side. Have a good weekend.